Hello, beautiful humans, and welcome back to another episode with Beyond the Mind with Ani. Today, we are diving into a topic that is uncomfortable but crucial: how the modern reshaping of masculinity and femininity is quietly eroding attraction, intimacy, and even our sense of belonging. We live in an age where men are encouraged to be more sensitive, emotionally available, and nurturing, which is beautiful. But there's a catch. Many men are softening without balancing their masculine traits: decisiveness, direction, protection, and grounded leadership. And the result is confusion, frustration, and yes, loneliness. Meanwhile, women are stepping up, hardening, protecting themselves, and taking the lead in every space: work, home, and even relationships. We've become strong, independent, and resilient. But at what cost? Many of us no longer fully receive, relax, or trust because the men we meet aren't showing up in ways that sparks polarity. He's sensitive, listens, compliments you, but never asks you for commitment. You've left doing all the emotional labor, planning the dates, initiating intimacy, carrying the energy. He's soft and equal, but attraction is gone. Polarity is missing. Or even in workplace and leadership, a male colleague or partner who prides himself for being supportive and collaborative refuses to take stand where it matters. He argues equality is about sameness, so he avoids responsibility. Women step up, lead, and eventually burn out and end up building resentment, and connection fades. Here's a controversial insight: soft masculinity alone does not create love, intimacy, or attraction. Polarity does. Women can be strong, but if men stop leading and take action, the energy collapses. And the result? Relationships feel transactional, dating feels like a game, and loneliness becomes chronic, not because of lack of love, but because we have lost the chemistry that comes from that polarity. So, these are the questions in my head that I would like to share with you. Are we longing for polarity or settling for sameness? Are men stepping into their masculine responsibility or hiding behind that sensitivity as an excuse to avoid it? Are we softening and receiving fully, or protecting ourselves so much that that dance of attraction dies before even it begins? So today we'll dive into that topic deeper and understand how women are overcompensating and how men can integrate sensitivity without losing their edge, because love, attraction, and presence are not dead. They're just being misunderstood. As I mentioned, men today are embracing traditionally feminine traits: sensitivity, emotional expression, nurturing, which is absolutely wonderful, but in theory. Here's the problem. When men stop leading, stop taking responsibility, and stop providing structure, women, we have to adapt. We learn to protect ourselves. We harden, build emotional armor, and stop fully receiving. Instead of trusting, we plan, we control, and drive the relationship forward, because if we don't, nothing happens. And here's what this looks like in real life. Dates, they feel like tug of wars. You're chasing connection while he's chasing comfort. Ghosting and passive behavior are the new normal. Men retreat instead of engaging. Women end up doing all the emotional labor and holding space for both sides. Men feel pressure to perform a version of masculinity they don't understand, and so they check out emotionally. And the result is chronic loneliness. Not because you don't meet enough people, but because polarity is missing, the spark is gone, attraction fades, intimacy feels transactional instead of electric. And here's the kicker. Society tells us this is equality, but it is not. Equality is not sameness. It's about balance. When women stop receiving and men stop leading, the attraction dies. Here's a controversial truth. So many people confuse equality with sameness, and in modern love, it's quietly killing the attraction, intimacy, and fulfillment. Some men lead into this mindset to justify avoiding responsibility. I'm equal, I don't need to lead, I'm sensitive, you can handle the rest. We're equal, so you can do your own emotional labor. Sounds fair on paper, but in reality, it creates imbalance, frustration, and chronic exhaustion for women. Equality in love isn't about splitting everything 50-50. It's about polarity. Someone leads, someone receives. When both parties operate as equal in every action, that's where, again, the attraction dies. What is the 50-50 trap? Cooking, she ends up planning the meals, buying the groceries, and cooking while he shares equally. By cleaning the dishes after she's done. Emotional labor, she remembers birthday, checking with friends, tracks finances, keep the emotional pulse of the family and the relationship, while he insists he's helping equally by occasionally listening. In each of these examples, the letter of equality exists, but the spirit of partnership is gone. Women carry the load, men stay in passive equality, and the relationship becomes transactional, devoid of polarity, spark, or desire. For example, dating apps. Men insist on equal effort, but hardly initiate a meaningful conversation or propose a date. Women do the chasing, organizing, and planning, then wonder why attraction fades. Or, for example, cohabiting couples. Both partners work full-time, but she still schedules doctor appointments, decorates the home, and manages the social calendar, all while he claims equality because he pays half the bills. She remembers everyone's need, checking on mental health, and smooths conflict. He claims equality by being supportive without stepping into accountability. Equality is power, but sameness in love is deadly. Polarity, the sacred tension between masculine and feminine energy, is what creates spark, desire, and fulfillment. Without it, couples coexist. Without attraction, intimacy collapses and resentment grows. This imbalance doesn't just affect attraction, it fuels chronic loneliness. Even when you're in a relationship, women chase connection while pretending to be independent. Men withdraw under the guise of equality or sensitivity. Both end up unfulfilled, craving polarity, but mistaking control, sameness, or avoidance for intimacy. Why this happens? When women take on both sides of the relationship, planning, nurturing, leading emotionally, they lose the ability to relax into receiving. Men, feeling shamed or traditional masculine traits or unsure how to lead without being called toxic, retreat emotionally or hide behind "we are equal." Finances and planning. For example, she manages the budgets, plans vacations, schedules doctor appointments, and tracks savings. He insists he's doing his share by paying bills or contributing when he's asked. She researches apartment, career moves, or parenting choices while he claims equality by supporting whatever you decide. But without shared initiative or leadership, he remains invisible, and she feels like she's parenting an adult child, not building a partnership. The outcome? Couples feel like roommates instead of lovers. Dates feel like checklists. Conversations feel like reports. Attraction disappears. Women feel exhausted, unappreciated, and alone. Men feel pressured and misunderstood, so they pull away even further. And the result? Chronic loneliness in love, even when you're together. Because loneliness isn't always about not finding the right person. It is about polarity being absent. When energy isn't aligned, even love can feel transactional, and relationships lose the spark that makes life feel alive. Let's talk about modern love. Modern love often feels like battlefield, and that's because beneath all these dating apps, equality talk, and empowerment messaging, something fundamental is broken: polarity, responsibility, and energy alignment. People aren't failing at love because they don't care. They're failing because the emotional dynamic are misaligned. For example, ghosting as an escape hatch. Many men today, when faced with responsibility, decision making, or emotional depth, they withdraw. Ghosting becomes the path of least resistance. For example, you've been building connection for weeks, sharing hopes, fears, and laughs, becoming vulnerable. Then, after a seemingly perfect date, he disappears. No message, no explanation. You replay the interaction, questioning yourself. You take things personally, but the issue wasn't you. It was the collapse of masculine leadership in that relationship. And why that happens? Emotional softness without responsibility creates imbalance. Men can be sensitive and vulnerable, but without the container, energy, clarity, decision-making, follow-through, relationship stalls, and women feel they're doing all the work. Or pick-me mentality, the behavior women are being conditioned by centuries of patriarchal expectation, often respond to men's emotional absence by overcompensating. We perform compliance, charm, or availability in hopes of securing attention or care. For example, she cancels plans with her friends to stay available. She constantly apologizes for expressing emotions. She over-explains herself, yet he still delays commitment or disappears. The problem: this is modern dowry energy, women giving more than is reciprocated, performing worthiness. Patriarchy shadow still has its power. You must earn love, prove yourself, and adapt to him. And what's the emotional cost? Emotional burnout, self-doubt, and the attraction loss. When women overcompensate, the polarity flips. The magnetic pull of masculine and feminine energy weakens. Attraction dies without polarity. Polarity is the unseen energy that makes relationship magnetic. Tension, flow, contrast, and balance. When it is gone, men may be emotionally expressive but lack decisiveness or direction, leaving women to drive the connection. Women may be independent and strong but resist receiving or trusting, guarding their hearts. And the results that dates feel like transactions, conversations like checklists, and intimacy becomes mechanical. The spark, chemistry, and the desire evaporates because there is no dynamic tension. We've been told equality is progress, but in love, equality does not mean sameness. Again, unbalanced, soft, masculine, and hard, independent femininity equals to chronic emotional fatigue, disconnection, and isolation. Love becomes work, not pleasure. Connection becomes strategic, not organic. Men sometimes use equality as a shield to avoid responsibility. I'm sensitive. You take care of the rest. Women take this literally and overcompensate, create cycles of resentment and loneliness. Let's talk about examples in online dating. So dating apps, in my opinion, it's the death of initiative and the feminine burnout syndrome. Let's be honest, dating apps have turned modern courtship into a passive game of swipe and emojis. So many men talk about equal effort, yet they don't initiate, plan, or follow through. They will match, flirt, and maybe say, we should hang out sometimes, but never actually pick a time, place, or take the lead. And when women finally express frustration, hey, are you actually interested or just bored? She's labeled, oh, you're too needy, you're too much, or too masculine. What's the irony? She simply is responding to the lack of direction. This dynamic is slowly killing the feminine energy where women are forced to lead, plan, and chase. We step out of our natural flow, the part of us that wants to feel safe enough to receive trust and be pursued. Instead, we turn into managers, organizers, emotional caretakers. It's not empowerment. This is exhaustion wrapped in self-reliance. And meanwhile, many men are comfortable saying that I'm in my comfort zone, I'm emotionally available, I'm sensitive, but they've lost touch with their grounded masculine essence, the one that initiates, protects, and provides structure. That balance of leadership and empathy is what makes polarity electric. Without it, love feels flat, like two friends scheduling for a coffee date. In many modern relationships, men proudly say that they are supportive, believe in equality, but look deeper. They avoid the tough conversation about direction, finances, conflicts, or emotional needs under the banner of being non-controlling. They mistake avoidance for respect. So what happens? Women step up. She becomes the emotional anchor, the decision maker, and the one managing schedules, feelings, bills, intimacy. She carries the weight of both energy and then wonders why she feels disconnected from her softness. Gets to stay the nice guy, free of confrontational leadership, yet she slowly burns out, feeling unseen or unsupported. She doesn't want to control everything. She just doesn't trust that he will. And this dynamic is what quietly killing modern relationship. We've replaced masculine leadership with emotional neutrality and feminine surrender with constant survival. And the result, two people calling it equality while one is carrying the relationship on her back. Again, true equality in love isn't sameness, it is balance. Different strengths, same value. But what we see now is a generation of men hiding passivity behind sensitivity and women masking pain behind independence. He avoids, she overfunctions. He feels emasculated, she feels unsafe. And then both call it love. Modern dating isn't broken because people forgot how to love. It is broken because energy, polarity, and responsibility have lost their rhythm. We have confused emotional awareness with softness and independence with control. Men were told to be more sensitive and many lost their grounded leadership. Women were told to be strong and many lost their ability to receive, to rest, to trust. Now, everyone is exhausted. We scroll, we match, we text, we flirt, but we rarely connect because, again, love doesn't thrive in sameness. It thrives in polarity. The magnetic tension between direction and flow, giving and receiving, leading and surrendering. When a man integrates both sensitivity and strength, when he listens deeply but also leads with clarity, a woman feels safe enough to soften, to open, and to trust. When a woman integrates independence and receptivity, a man rises to meet her energy instead of retreating from it. That's when love stops feeling like labor and starts feeling like alignment. That's when intimacy returns not as performance but as presence. But until polarity is restored, love will keep feeling like negotiations. Date will feel like job interviews, relationship like projects, and passion like a fading memory. The crisis we're facing isn't a people problem. It's an energy and responsibility problem. We've created equality in opportunity but lost balance in essence. Attraction, intimacy, and fulfillment only return when both masculine and feminine energies are honored. When strength protects softness and softness inspires strength. When we remember this, love stops being a battlefield and becomes what it was always meant to be, a sacred balance between two whole conscious beings. So I want to thank you for being with me so far, reflecting, and most importantly, for daring to question the narratives we've been taught about love and power. If this episode stirred something in you, if it challenged your beliefs or made you see your relationship differently, please do share it, comment, start conversation, because the world needs this dialogue very much. Polarity isn't outdated, it is human. It's the ancient rhythm of life, structure and flow, direction and surrender, giving and receiving. The more we understand it, the more alive or our love becomes. Because real love isn't about equality, it's about energy alignment. And when that is restored, we stop chasing love and start embodying it. So until next time, my lovelies, stay magnetic, stay open, and always go beyond the mind.